Here's a way to save a bunch of money and time. Have you ever thought about doing a sales page where you're selling something, but instead of doing it on your website, doing it on Google Docs? Now, I've never done that. And then the other day, I worked with somebody who's amazing. He's making way past six figures. His sales mechanism was a Google Docs page. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I looked at it and it worked wonderful. Somebody else also had a Google Docs page. So I looked into this. Like, is this something that's legit? Can you actually do this? And sure enough, Google Docs is a thing for sales pages. So if you are starting out or if you're testing a new program or a new product that you're selling, try a Google Docs sales page. And I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. You do mimic a normal sales page that's on our website, but you do it in Google Docs, which makes it easier to change. And there are people that are saying that this feels more trustworthy to them because then they're now into someone's personal Google Doc. So trust is what matters, right, when you're selling. So try this out, especially if you're starting out, or if you've been around for a while and you just want to see what a different mechanism looks like and feels like for your audience, or you have a brand new product that you're just testing out and you're going to test that language on your sales page. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so let's look at the doc together. First thing you see, right, it does not look like a random document. It actually looks like a sales page. This doesn't look like your regular, Word doc kind of situation. And that's what we want you to make sure that it looks like. Yes, you're using Google Docs, but the layout is a little bit different than that you might see. And so you do want to mimic normal sales pages. Important things that you need in this doc is sections, right? People are scanning. This needs to be easily scannable. Very strong headlines so people can easily find what they're looking for. And then bullet points. Bullet points is just, again, easier to scan, easier to read. You do want to vary some text, some bullet points. I am not a reader. When I go into sales pages, I'm a scanner. So for me, like, these strong headlines and bullet points are vital. Some people, they want to read everything. They want to know all the details. So you have to have that in there as well for those people. Tables is a nice way to break things up. It's just visually very appealing and it's really easy for the eye to look at. And then you want to make sure that there's a lot of spacing. The spacing is, again, easier on the eye, easier to read, and easier to find things. The second thing I want you to notice is everything on the sales page is very structured. Headline, body, headline, body. And that's on purpose because, again, people are going to be scanning, people want to find things fast, and you want this to look professional and something where people are like, okay, she's answering my questions. This is what I need. All right, here are the 4 elements you're going to have to create. First, the headline. Your headline is so important because now we're not looking at a website that's heavily designed. And so your headline has to really sound good and has to just grab the reader's attention. So spend a lot of times on the headlines that A, make sense of what the section is all about, and B, have hooks in them, are attention grabbing, and people are going to want to read what's under that headline. Number 2, bullets. So if you have these long paragraphs when most people don't read anyways and they scan, people are going to stop. They're going to actually bounce from your sales page. You do not want that. You want to make it super easy so people can be like, oh, I get this. Oh yeah, that's what I need. Oh yeah, this is a value proposition. Oh yeah, look at that's my pain point. Oh yeah, I need to buy this. And so the bullets are really a good way to do that. Always talk about you need to really know your niche and you need to know your customer so you know what makes them buy. So if you're selling purple mugs, it can't just be, hey, I got purple mugs. You have to say something like purple mugs that make your mornings brighter and happier every time you drink coffee. Something like that, right? You want the so that. So for example, I have a membership. It's called the Impact Membership where I teach people marketing. No one wants to buy that. What's the so that? So that you can grow your business, so that you can make money. So always think about the so that when you're writing in your bullet points. Number 3 is that you have tables, and tables is a really nice way to break up what's happening on the page. It's visually appealing and it's really good for any kind of comparison that you're doing. So for example, we have a lot of times on sales pages, what's included, what's not included, table, put them next to each other. A lot of times I put this on every single one of my sales page, who this is for, who this is not for. A lot of times in the sales section where you're actually saying like the pricing, we have multiple prices. We have anchor pricing, right? We have 3 price points, maybe 2 price points. Again, tables are really good for that. Number 4, visual variety. And this is really important because the reader's going to stop reading if it all looks the same or it looks like one giant essay. So you have bullets, you have font that's bold, you have font that's not bold, you got tables, you got this variety, and you get a lot of spacing in here. And that's super important because that's going to want to make a reader to keep going. So of course, before you actually fill this out, I want you to gather all the vitals that are super important. Who are you selling this to? Pick that niche, pick that ideal customer, and talk to them like they're a friend. Of course, then you have to have the transformation. What happens if you buy this? You get this. So if you go into my marketing impact membership, you're going to scale your business and make more money. What is it for you? And then, of course, you need some kind of social proof. We love social proof. I have tons of testimonials on my website. I have video testimonials. I have text testimonials. You can do the same thing here. You can just put some text on here. You can even put in an image of the person that gave you the testimonial. Is super, super important. And then talking about what happens next, you're going to have to write that like, hey, click here to check out, and then you'll get the course right away or whatever it is that you're selling. So if you're new to Google Docs and you haven't done this before, you need to share it now. And so there's different ways to share it. So here's a really easy way to do that. Click on the share button and then change this part to anyone with a link. Select view, so viewers, so they can only view it. And then you just take that link and put it on your signature, put it in your emails, put it on your YouTube videos, put it on Instagram, wherever that you're selling. So yes, you can easily use a Google Doc to sell. These people that are selling, there are some people that are just starting out, and then there's the guy I was telling you about earlier. He makes about $500,000 a year. They're selling on Google Docs. So you can too. It's a really easy, cheap way and a good way to start selling something that's brand new to you or just you're new to selling. And then that way you can easily change it and optimize it as you see people going through it and seeing what kind of conversions that you get on your sales. Try it out. Let me know how it goes.